Good morning, SKN. I'm Jamie Morris.
And I am Cortensia Carty, and it is Tuesday. So choose kindness, choose gratitude, choose happiness, choose you.
All right, we proceed now to the latest in local news. This from Media SKN. The missing person bulletin raised over the weekend for Mr. Sandeep Hinjrani has been discontinued after the visitor departed on an airline flight back to the United States. Several hours after Mr. Hinjrani was reported missing on the island of St. Kitts, he was found aboard the United Airlines flight headed to New Jersey, USA. According to police, Hinjrani said he left the cruise vessel on Friday afternoon to visit relatives and friends who came to St. Kitts on a sailing boat. According to Hinjrani, the group spent the afternoon fishing, but upon his arrival at the cruise port, the Enchanted Princess had already departed. Hinjrani added that he made a report to the Immigration Department and also informed the cruise line of his reason for missing the vessel, and then proceeded to book a flight to New Jersey, where he resides. He spent the night at the Seaview Inn located in the capital Bastyr. The man, according to police, appeared to be in good physical and mental health. There's nothing wrong with him. He's safe and sound, hopefully back to home.
Initially, when I heard the story, I thought he was one of the workers that skipped the ship. But then when I realized he's a United States resident, I said, man, he's fine. He's somewhere around. We continue now with our second story. Recycling awareness campaign reaches the Dean Glassford Primary School. This from SKNIS. On Monday, February the 27th, 2023, the Dean Glassford Primary School became the 6th primary school on St. Kitts to participate in the Ministry of Environment and the Taiwan Technical Mission's bin placement program, which falls under the Solid Waste Management and Recycling Project. Through this recycling awareness campaign, plastic recycling bins are being installed in primary schools across the island, and students are being properly informed on what should be recycled and the significance of recycling. In addition to the Dean Glassford Primary School, the Ministry of Environment and the Taiwan Technical Mission have installed plastic recycling bins at the St. Paul's Primary School, the Keon Primary, the Sandy Point Primary, the Edgar T. Morris Primary, and the Bronte Welch Primary Schools. Plastic recycling bins are also being placed at hotels, restaurants, community centers, churches, and a number of local retail businesses as part of the Solid Waste Management and Recycling Project.
And those children definitely look happy to be recycling. Or is it just for the photo op with the Prime Minister?
Photo op with the Prime Minister, I think.
All right.
Well, maybe both.
All right, proceeding to the other story from SKNIS. As the St. Christopher and Nevis Social Security Board celebrates its 45th anniversary, a clarion call has been made for a comprehensive reform of the Social Security Fund with a reserve size of $1.7 billion to prevent the fund from depleting in the next decade or more as expenses grow, income decreases, and pensioners increase. Derek Osborne, actuary for the Social Security Board, said, quote, "We have to act sooner rather than later," end quote. Donovan Herbert, resident statistician and manager of the Research and Statistics Department with oversight of the Data and Records Department, said that total expenses of the Social Security Fund continue significantly to increase year on year, and that pensioners represented approximately 70% of the total expenses. Mr. Donovan said, quote, "The number of contributors per pensioner gives an idea of how your funds as a contributor are supporting those persons receiving their pension benefits, and as we can see, that is on a significant decline. Our contribution income has now been surpassed by our total expenditure. The gravy years have gone. These are times to reform," end quote. Mr. Osborne said that while St. Kitts and Nevis' situation is not unique for most Caribbean countries, we've reached a fork in the road. And it almost sounds like they're sounding the alarm here. So yeah, we'll see what reforms lie ahead.
I just got to say this is not a time to be getting old, because they need more time to accumulate more funds so that we can all be safe. Wow. But hey, we all have to get old, guys, or we have to age. So now we go to the weather forecast. It is partly cloudy with a high of 80 and a low of 72 degrees Fahrenheit. It's currently 79 degrees Fahrenheit. Take a look at your hourly and weekly weather, and stay tuned for regional and international news.
That's it.
An exotic experience.
No cash, no card, no problem. Dad, embrace the freedom.
Thank you for joining us this morning as we continue here on Good Morning SKN with regional news. This from Loop Caribbean. Authentic Barbadian packaged sugar will be available in international markets with shipments sent to the U.S. already. On Friday, Agricultural Minister Indar Weir informed local media that Barbados will no longer be exporting sugar in bulk. He said, and quote, "Previously, we produced the sugar and we exported it in bulk. That's why we had the bonded warehouse facility at the port. We are no longer using the bond and we are no longer exporting sugar in bulk," end quote. "We are actually packaging sugar with Barbadian branding, and that sugar is being exported to the US, and we still have the option of exporting to the UK, which we will embark on as we move forward with the sugar industry," Weir revealed. Weir shared that Barbados Agricultural Management Company Limited started exporting into the US market on February 10th. The minister said this was an important step towards exporting internationally, as Bajan sugar was already sold in Trinidad and St. Lucia.
And in other news on the international scene, this from CNN. Britain and the European Union have reached an agreement on new trade rules in Northern Ireland in an attempt to resolve a thorny issue that has fueled post-Brexit tensions in Europe and on the island of Ireland. The deal could potentially resolve the issue of imports and border checks in Northern Ireland, one of the most challenging and controversial aspects of the United Kingdom split from the EU. Speaking at a press conference in Windsor, Prime Minister Rishi Sunak said that the new deal, called the Windsor Framework, will deliver smooth-flowing trade within the UK, protects Northern Ireland's place in the UK, and safeguards the sovereignty of Northern Ireland. The purpose of the deal is to fix issues created by the Northern Ireland Protocol, an addendum to the Brexit deal agreed by Boris Johnson and the EU in 2019. The protocol was created to prevent a hard border on the island of Ireland by keeping Northern Ireland aligned with the EU, meaning goods don't need to be checked between the Republic and the province. Definitely making strides on that.
Yeah.
Trade can be such a touchy issue, and Brexit seems to have created a lot of problems in that respect.
Yeah.
Well, there you have it for the latest for today. We'll be back in a moment with more GM SKN. Stay tuned.
Representing for Good Morning SKN, say good vibes, good energy, blessings and love. Voice rated.
Dreamy Decor specializes in flowers for all events, from birthdays to weddings and any other special occasion. What's a better way to express to the people you love than by providing the finest selection of beautiful flowers and gifts? So when you think of flowers, think of us, Dreamy Decor.
Yo, what up? It's your boy and Richie right here at Studio 327. I'm here to give you the promo that you guys need because this is something special for St. Kitts. I'm telling you, tune in to Good Morning SKN, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on YouTube, Facebook, and on Moen Channel 4. Also, I realize nobody else is doing this. Follow the Good Morning SKN Instagram at Good Morning SKN and the Studio 327 Inc. Instagram. Follow us on YouTube and Facebook. This is pretty long, but follow us and yeah.
Good morning, SKN. Wagwan. Yo, it's Bensley Lad coming to you live from Jamaica. You see it, go already. See me, I say Caribbean people stand up and I love this. This show is very important. You understand me? Yeah, man. Studio 327. Bensley Lad. It's a big up. See me, I say. I'm the whole innocent crew. Yeah, man. More love.
Good morning, SKN and Studio 327. This is Tao Batiste, one of your biggest fans. Just you're doing a lot of things well. Keep on that trajectory. Greatness, greatness, greatness.
Good morning, SKN. This is Lyrical. I just want to say blessings to you. There are a happy place in the life if you live in there. A happy place in the life if you live in there. Cause them at a happy place in the life. And they can't change. And they just come out here to do right. So whether day or night, they will never ever change. Blessings, blessings, and blessings.
Greetings, my lovely people. I'm Chantel, residing in Taiwan. 12 hours time difference. It's nighttime here, morning time in SK. I'm busy and on the go. However, I always manage to keep up to date with what's happening in SK. All thanks to Good Morning SKN. Good morning SKN. Ciao, bango!
You're watching Good Morning SKN. After the break, we'll be speaking with Hensley Daniel of HSO Trading Incorporated and Euphemia Bryce Roberts, Executive Director of Bryce Roberts Business Consulting Services. More GMSKN in a moment.
No cash, no card, no problem. Dad, embrace the freedom.
Yeah.
An exotic experience.
Greetings, my lovely people. I'm Chantel, residing in Taiwan. 12 hours time difference. It's nighttime here, morning time in SK. I'm busy and on the go. However, I always manage to keep up to date with what's happening in SK. All thanks to Good Morning SKN. Good morning SKN. Ciao bango!
Welcome back to Good Morning SKN. As promised, we have with us this morning Mr. Hensley, Daniel of ESO Trading Inc., and Ms. Euphemia Bryce Roberts, Executive Director of Bryce Roberts Business Consulting Services, now joining us via Zoom in what is dubbed the Phase 1 of the Youth Leadership Development Program that was recently concluded. So good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Good Morning SKN.
Good morning to you and good morning to the listeners.
Good morning and good morning to all who are tuned in.
Alrighty, so we'll begin this way. How did this collaboration come about to facilitate such a program?
Mrs. Roberts.
I will send over to you, Mr. Dan.
Well, we have been working together for upwards of 20 years, Mrs. Roberts and I, developing training programs for young people. Worried as we are with the trend with respect to their social and leadership developments, we decided to come up with a program which seeks to prepare them, as it were, a little better so that the next generation of leaders would not become people who become leaders by accident. That is to say, you're not prepared, but since you were in the position the longest, you get the position. And that we wanted to develop some soft skills, some good social skills, and informed as we are by a World Bank study some years ago, which shows that employers, particularly, it was done in the OECS, but particularly employers in St. Kitts and Nevis, they were looking for employees who not only pass the subjects and so on and write. What they found is that these children didn't have, the workers didn't have any manners, and they were not very good at working in teams and dealing with conflict. So over the years, we have done a number of these programs, but this one, we decided to sharpen the focus on leadership, building, as it were, social skills.
Okay.
And may I just add, and I noticed Mr. Daniel said we've been doing those for young people. I think from a broader perspective, we are involved in performance management. So we do it for young, we do it for the not so young, whoever is ready to learn or open to learning.
Well, it's quite interesting that you spoke to what I would like to term accidental leadership. And I think that what you've done is to craft a leadership by design program where you could always pull, the leaders of tomorrow out, see what their qualities are for leadership. I want to now speak with you about the 5 E's of leadership. Can you give us an overview of this and its benefits?
The 5 E's of leadership, as Mrs. Roberts said, we have been looking at leadership issues throughout the 20, 30 years, and we have been looking at some of the very good people who have been writing about leadership. Peter Drucker, leadership is the lifting of a man's vision to higher heights. Warren Bennett speaks to managing people is like herding cats, but you can, if you can sense their purpose, you can get them to purr and kill your rats. Lots of different concepts. So what I did is to come up with these 5 E's of leadership, one of which, the first one is ethics, because ethics must drive any good leadership, any good leader. And I am sure we are troubled very often with the low ethics, at the leadership level. So we start to explore that. Then there is the question of education. We believe that leaders have to be continually learning and developing and growing and so on. And that education is central to remaining current, to remaining on the cutting edge. It is, I am told that the CEOs in America have to read upwards of 30, 40 books per year to remain current. Wow. Then the question of egalitarianism, another E, that you're not just a leader just so, you are supposed to be a leader to make a difference and to ensure that you narrow the gap, as it were, between haves and have-nots, or even between people who have access to power and those who don't. So it's to address an inequality. The whole question of egalitarianism, where you can balance the resources so that everybody feels a part of the process. And then there is the question of enterprise. We really want our young people to develop that feeling for enterprise, a la Steve Jobs or, Jeff Bezos, all of these magnets. But they started simple, and so we want people young people in particular, and also the older persons, to have a sense of some kind of enterprise. So if you are an English major, you can write books and poetry and have them in the market, And also we want people to, because you're educated, we want you to add value to your education. In the Caribbean, we treat education like adornment, But what we want to do is to use it through enterprise to add value to the economy, to add value to your own specific family and so on. And then there is the question of evaluation. We're spending a lot of money in the Caribbean, in our own society, and we're not evaluating whether we are reaching our goals, whether they are making a difference, and that leadership must make a difference. And I use the gas gauge in the car. When you drive your car, you look at the gas gauge to see the level of gas in the car. When it's an E, you have to fill up. So it's the same kind of concept. On the evaluation, you must continually ask the question, am I making a difference? Are things going according to plan? Should objectives be changed? What are the outcomes? And what do the outcomes mean? So it's on that, in a nutshell, that's it.
And even as Mr. Daniel would have come up with the idea of the 5 E's, when I hear enterprise and he spoke to, yes, persons going into having that entrepreneurial mindset, I'm also reminded, and it's one of the points that we think it's important to draw to the attention of persons, that we could have an entrepreneurial mindset even while working as employees. And so it is having that thinking of innovation. So even if persons, whether or not persons go out on their own into enterprise, the organizations with which they're working would benefit from the entrepreneurial mindset.
Very solid points indeed, and we'll continue this discussion in a moment. Stay tuned, everyone.
No cash, no card, no problem. Dad, embrace the freedom.
Yeah.
An exotic experience.
Good morning, SKN. Wagwan. Yo, it's Bensley Lad coming to you live from Jamaica. You see it already. See me, I say Caribbean people stand up and I love this. This show is very important. You understand me? Yeah, man. Studio 327. Bensley Lad. It's a big up. See me, I say. I'm the whole innocent crew. Yeah, man. More love.
Welcome back to Good Morning SKN. We're speaking with Hensley Daniel of HSO Trading Incorporated and Euphemia Bryce Roberts, Executive Director of Bryce Roberts Business Consulting Services. Very engaging discussion so far. I want to continue by focusing, as it were, on you, Ms. Bryce Roberts, the leadership development on purpose, that particularly. Can you give us an overview of this module and the benefits?
All right, this is based on, just as Mr. Daniel's 5 E's is based on a book he's in the process of writing. The leadership development on purpose is related to a book that I'm in the process of writing. And it is based on what I call the best leadership development and relationship building model, which recognizes that leadership, effective leadership, is founded on relationships, the quality of relationships, and also founded on the quality of the individual, who the individual sees himself or herself as. And using the definition of leadership, which Mr. Daniel alluded to earlier, where I really love Peter Drucker's definition, where he speaks to leadership being the lifting of a man's vision to higher heights, the raising of a man's performance to a higher standard. So we use that as the basic definition. And in order to lift that vision, we need to first of all know who we are. So there are 3 modules to the program. The first one is identity and dreams, which speaks to who am I? What are my values? What is my vision? And for me to recognize that I'm a very important person, as I would say, a child of God. And so I'm a king, I'm a queen, I'm a princess. According to the sex, male, female, but we all first to recognize that we are important, no matter where we were born, how we were born. So identity is important, and having a dream. As the Bible says, where there is no vision, people perish. Then, so that is identity and dreams. The other module is values and contribution. So it speaks to recognizing that from an interpersonal relationship standpoint, we need to look at how am I adding value to the other person? How am I adding value to society? So where I am today is based on value that has been added by others. So it's a case of a consciousness of being aware, how am I engaging with persons, the quality of engagement, and what could be said about the service, what could be said about what I'm leaving persons with. So recognizing those first 2 modules, identity and dreams, values, contribution, then we go into the core leadership, where we speak to lifting of a person's vision to higher heights. And for that, we use the acronym GIVES, where we use goals, that you need to be clear on your goals, I, influence, V, vision, E, engage, and S, service. So, and it's emphasizing that leaders are about servanthood. Leaders are about giving. And so that's it in a nutshell.
Indeed, indeed. I know you said you have both young, maybe some middle-aged and some older persons. How do you manage to teach these modules, both you and Mr. Daniel, that each age group understands it the way it should be understood?
Well, it's offered at different times. The program we just did was for the young people.
Okay.
So there are other times when we offer to the working age persons. So that program we just did was really targeting 12 to 18 years old, so that we could tailor it to suit that group. We ended up having a few persons older than 18, but to take into account your question, by targeting, by having various groupings, various cohorts at different times. Previous to that, we had some weeks before that, we would have targeted the working population. And so this is how we deal with it. So we try to have persons according to their experience, their level of exposure together.
In learning that you dealt with people who were mainly between the ages of 12 to 18 years old, when you spoke earlier, Ms. Roberts, and you said leadership is about service, I was wondering if that surprised any of the participants in any way. Because when we think of leaders, particularly at that age, I'm assuming that we think that the leaders, as Mr. Daniel said, they're magnates, they're powerful. Were there any misconceptions as to that?
Well, I don't know. I cannot say that there were surprises to them. There may have been, I don't know. But one of the points which was emphasized was that even in the little things that we could start serving. For example, like I'd mentioned to them, we've been talking about service. We've been saying leadership is about service, but there are times I need help. I need help, particularly at the end of the program, with putting down posters or putting together my the various files that I have. And I'm not hearing anybody offering. So that was an opportunity for me to point out to them that we are not looking for a special occasion. We need always to be looking around us, not waiting to be asked, but seeing how can I help and help.
That says to me that you were sharp on the assessment bit of it, if I'm correct, Mr. Daniel. You were, pointing out that there were opportunities that they could take advantage of to serve, and that's very good indeed. As I want to talk with you now, I want to focus on the performance of the 9 individuals. So, in your estimation, how did the individuals perform, and were there any developmental changes that you noticed? And this goes to both of you.
Mr. Roberts.
Okay. Well, I must say, well, yes, at least the service orientation. that at least after it was drawn to their attention, then we saw that persons were being more open to assisting. So I thought that was key. Also, in terms of the readiness to speak out, because even for the closing ceremony, we had quite a number of the young persons. We had one of them hosting, we had two of them doing the overview. So in terms of the boldness to come forward, so there was a little hemming and hawing, a little nudging, but then we saw that openness to really stretching. So yes, so I can say that I saw that level of growth. And it was actually that they themselves, one or two would have actually said that yes, they feel much more confident. And we also had parents speaking at the program at the phase 1 closing ceremony who spoke to the positives relative to their children.
Mr. Daniel?
Yes. Well, the most important thing for me was that in speaking to them about matters of ethics, because we have a society which is just accustomed that things go a particular way. My task was to bring to their realization that you're willing in life to make ethical decisions, and those decisions will be critical. And I think Mrs. Roberts will say, yeah, you make them now, but there are consequences after, And I think the critical thing for me was a level of raising a level of awareness that, you have to, you can't just be waltzing around in the world. You have to be careful. You have to be strategic. And as Mrs. Roberts' thing was purpose. You have to do things on purpose. And again, it's not an accident. So that I find that there was an awareness. And very importantly for me, there was widespread discussion on the matter. For instance,
Mr. Daniel, let me just put in it, just reminding you about your drug example,
yes,
which I thought was powerful.
Yes, I was giving them the question on ethics, and I was saying, if somebody offers you $5,000 to go down Sandy Point to carry some ganja or cocaine, knowing that it will destroy people, then they were saying, well, 5,000. But when I began to raise the amount, in terms of, okay, if they offer you 100,000, well, what about that? And then you got the kind of discussion from the students. So that the idea that you actually have to use practical examples. So they live in St. Kitts. It's not a case of something relating to something in Ukraine. It is about dealing with real world issues. And I remember one of the students says to me at one of the sessions, someone stopped her, a male, stopped to ask her if she wanted a ride. And she says she remember I said to them, trust carefully. And then she said she refused the ride. And I said, why? She said, I don't trust it. I don't trust it. Okay? So it is that kind of alertness, awareness, and so on, which I thought, of course, 10, 12 weeks doesn't mean that we achieve all the things we want to do. So it's a work in progress.
I love the example. I love the moral dilemma, and I appreciate the reality of the situation, because for $5,000, obviously, that's not a lot. But when you raise it, then you get that level of discussion, because I need the money. Yeah. I can imagine they can do a lot with it. And so that becomes a conflict that's worth discussing.
Right.
I understand yes. Yes,
so
sir,
the ethical issue is not the amount, is what you do. And I gave them examples of people saying, someone being fired for stealing a cake. And her concern was it was a small cake. So if it's a small cake, you shouldn't be fired. Only if it's a big cake, So we had those kinds of engagement. And I just think that we have to have more of these kinds of discussions to allow the young people to open up. If they are not doing it at the home, we are available, and the society must see that really what this is. This is ensuring that we can live in peace in St. Kitts and Nevis 40, 50 years from now, that we can eradicate a lot of the antisocial behavior. It's our first step, but it has to be continued.
And linked to that is the importance of having the young people be the foot soldiers, because it's very important. Very often the young are more likely to listen to other young persons. And so we see them as being trailblazers, foot soldiers, going into their respective communities, their respective schools to make that positive difference.
Indeed.
All right, so that was phase one. There's a phase two. Vision board project. Who wants to speak about that?
Yeah, well, phase two actually is really the implementation. Again, as Mr. Daniel he's big on monitoring and evaluation. So it really captures that concept of evaluation. To what extent did you understand? To what extent are you implementing? So they were required to do a vision board, in which they were to have done it in phase one. The whole idea is that in phase two, it is what progress have you made towards your vision board? They were also to come up with a leadership project. The idea that we're reminded always, whenever we have a problem, we need to think solution. We're not talking about a problem over and over and over again. That is not our role as leaders. Our leaders are always, as leaders, we have to see what we could do to make a positive difference. So it was emphasized from the time you have problem, think solution. And the solution may lie with you, or it may lie with you recommending to somebody, or you engaging with others. And so the phase two captures that implementation aspect, where they were also to do a leadership project, which they were to have submitted in phase one, and phase two at the end of it, that we check to what extent you carried out that leadership project. So it's really about action, action, action.
Yeah, I think I was able to say, and I think the parents and the students bought into this idea that we must stop asking children what you would like to be when you grow up, when you leave school, what you would like to be. What we need to ask them is what problem you'd like to solve. So if they say they want to be a policeman, they want to solve the problem of crime, but we need to shift the focus to ask them, just as Mrs. Roberts is saying, the solution. What problem I'd like to solve? Environmental degradation, that kind of thing. So shift the focus away from what I'd like to become to what, because you can become the thing, but you don't solve any of the problem.
Yeah, so the idea was a mindset shift, that how we see things differently. And actually at the session, one of the young people would have indicated that was a point that struck that individual forcibly, shifting the mindset. And another point, actually, at one point in the program, one of the persons would have mentioned how recognizing that as human beings, in terms of identity, we are mind, body, spirit. For us to excel, we need to look at what we are doing to nurture the mind, nurture the body, nurture the spirit. So that was very important from an identity consciousness.
Well, it has been an informative few minutes with you, and I can only imagine the benefits that can be derived long-term from the participants and graduates of this program. I'm looking forward to what else you collaborate on and hopefully discussing that with you in the future as well. So thank you so much for joining us, Mr. Daniel and Ms. Roberts. We really appreciate it.
Okay, thank you very much to our two hosts. Thanks very much for the listeners. And we look forward to more organizations. I think very importantly, we needed to have mentioned that it was really a collaborative arrangement, so we had private sector, public sector on board with us. And so we're looking for more of that collaboration as we look to making that contribution to nation building, making a positive difference in the lives of the young people and beyond.
I like that.
Thanks again. Much appreciated. You have a good day. More Good Morning SKN on the other side of this break. Stay tuned.
Dreamy Decor specializes in flowers for all events, from birthdays to weddings and any other special occasion. What's a better way to express to the people you love than by providing the finest selection of beautiful flowers and gifts? So when you think of flowers, think of us, Dreamy Decor.
What will it take to grab the attention of someone with the power to make your dream come true? 7 hopeful entrepreneurs in search of the finances necessary to take their ideas to the next level.
This is their lives, right? This is their business.
4 savvy business owners ready to make a pragmatic investment.
You can't help people if you can't help yourself. First you make the dollar and you give the dollar.
Why you take your business offline?
I really feel that you need to do a little bit more research.
Very knowledgeable. Super knowledgeable.
You have a great idea and a great concept. I think you'd be snapped up by Disney.
If you have a job someplace, it means that if something is not working, you can walk away.
Who will invest?
Let's do this. Let's do this.
Thank you. And who will be sent home with nothing? I am your host, Kevin Hope.
Dreamy Decor specializes in flowers for all events, from birthdays to weddings and any other special occasion. What's a better way to express to the people you love than by providing the finest selection of beautiful flowers and gifts? So when you think of flowers, think of us, Dreamy Decor.
Welcome back to Good Morning SKN. The Nevis Animal Speak recently intervened in a situation where some dogs and puppies were in need of medical attention after their owner unfortunately passed away. We now welcome Janice Jensen, founder and executive director of the Nevis Animal Speak, for the segment of Motivating Factor. Good morning, Janice, and welcome again to GMSKN.
Thank you. Such a pleasure to be back, and really appreciate you having us on today.
You're very welcome. So to begin the conversation, we really want to know, because this is quite a touching story, I would think. How did Nevis Animal Speak find out about the condition of the dogs living on the property after their owner sadly passed?
So we had known of Mansa's passing. He was kind of a high-profile case where he had touched the lives of a lot of people. He had been a farmer and very much had been active in the world of agriculture and farming and creating sustainability. And one of the things everybody knew is that Mansa loved his dogs. He always had dogs. He had a lot of dogs. So when he passed, there was a lot of chatter, right, about the dogs on social media. We were aware of it, but it wasn't until February 18th that we got a direct communication saying, hey, there are problems. The dogs are, right, probably not being managed. There are puppies involved. There was a concern for their health and the well-being. So we reached out to the family and we said, look, we want to help. How can we help? These are our suggestions. So we were going to meet the family the next day in the afternoon, kind of assess the situation and see how we could help. And unfortunately, before we had a chance to get there the next day, one of the puppies had wandered out into the street and had been hit and killed by a vehicle. Wow. So we communicated again with the family and said, look, if you're okay with us going on property on our own, we'll assess the situation and then we can come up with a plan. But we'd like to at least take the remaining puppies and put them in a safe situation until the family could, manage the animals and we come up with a long-term plan. So that's how it all started.
Okay. So Janice, is this something that Nevis Animal Speak normally do?
So our mission is that no dog or cat, homed or stray, will go without necessary medical care. As a charity, both here in the Federation, as well as we are registered as what is called a 501c3 in the United States, which holds us to a very high level of expectation and transparency, not just from a financial side, but how we run the business as a whole. We, like I said, Mansa was a high profile case, but we are doing this type of intervention and support on a regular basis. I mean, I dare to say, daily, but we never know what's going to come in through the door. And weekly, we are, helping and supporting and intervening to uphold the mission. I think it is critically important to say we are not a shelter. We are not a rescue agency, but we can support at least medically the animals. And we have a fairly large network where through social media and through our volunteers, when there's an urgent need, we can communicate and say, hey, if anybody is able to foster or adopt, if that need is there as well. And then, of course, in the case of Mansa and his family, we were able to at least take the puppies temporarily. And then we reached out to the community, both locally and internationally, because, right, we are not, as we know, as right, you're communicating internationally right now. We have a fairly wide group that we reach, and we said we have an amount that we need to have donated. We want to spay and neuter all of the remaining dogs with the agreement of the family. This was their request. And on Saturday, this coming Saturday, we're holding an in-house, what we're calling Mansa's Day, where we are doing a surgery off our regular surgery day. Usually we do our spays and neuters on Thursday. We raised enough money to get all of the dogs, the remaining dogs and puppies, spayed and neutered, to then be returned to the family because they love the dogs. They are going to be taking over the property and continuing on, where Mansa left off, where their father left off. So this intervention has helped medically treat. Nevis Animal Speak donated dog food, flea and tick meds, deworming, health checks, everything that we could donate on our side, we did. And then we're just looking to cover the costs of the surgery. So actually not just again in Mansa's case, but our clinic as a charity, all of our medical is at or below cost. So when people say, you're a charity, you should be doing everything for free. We do a lot for free, but we also need to be able to be sustainable. So we just cover our costs, and sometimes not that, but in certain situations, right? If we can intervene and support and help, that's what we do.
All right. So Janice, you were looking initially to raise about 1,500 EC dollars for the surgeries, if I'm not mistaken. And you said that the additional amount would go into a fund to help continue to feed and give treatment to the dog. So listening to you, you've already raised that $1,500, or is there still room for additional donations?
So there's always room for additional donations because Mansa's family and this situation is one of many, many, many. Before our conversation this morning, I spent about 2.5 hours responding to emails from people who said, I found a stray dog, it's friendly, but it's skinny and it's dying and it's got skin problems, or it's missing an eye, or it looks like it has a broken leg. Again, we're managing both homed and stray cases. So we raised the $1,500, and Nevis Animal Speak said to the family, until they are ready to take over, hopefully that'll be in the next few weeks. We're helping to support and manage their pack because it was so large. They're by the road, and we're trying to give them time to, stabilize their lives and their family, and that family includes the dogs. So yes, we raised enough money for the surgeries. Yay! And then we'll continue to support them for the rest.
All right, that's good. It's definitely not easy with 7 dogs. I mean, that's the total that we have.
No. And the interesting thing is many of these puppies and what was going on was not coming from within their own pack. There are people that in the area that let their dogs roam, and if they are what we call intact, they have not been spayed and neutered, and they have the ability to be making puppies. That's what they're doing. Most people don't know this, but a male dog can smell a female in heat up to 5 miles away, which means those males are not just smelling one female, they're smelling every female in heat. And, for any guy and, girls, we've seen this too, like any human male that remembers, remember that first girl that they saw and they got that funny feeling and they kind of couldn't shut it down. And, of course, that's when your teacher calls you up to the board and says, hey, can you do something in front of a class? Right? It's all very embarrassing. Well, when you can't shut that down, that's how we try to explain that's what's happening with these males. Okay. So for neutering, right, there is that aggression towards other males. They are not always kind when they meet the females, and they will do pretty much anything to get to them because they can't shut it down. So, one of the things that people say is, I don't want to get my dog neutered because I want the dog to have sex. Your dog can still have sex, but what was the reason for having the dog in the first place? If it was to protect your property and be a part of the family in that way, if that dog is thinking about every single female that it is smelling within a 5-mile radius, and then add our beautiful West Indies breezes, they're focusing on not you and not what you want that dog to be there for, but how to get away just to make puppies on the other side. So that's one of the reasons that we highly recommend that people get their male dogs neutered. And then the females, same thing, right? They're attracting unwanted males. Puppies are expensive, and the surgery is way, way, way less expensive than having to pay for the health and well-being and feeding of pregnant dogs and puppies. So
absolutely correct.
Indeed. So Janice, what is the plan going forward for these dogs after they have been returned? When I read an article before, is adoption an option?
So the family, and I, by the way, this is the best news. They want to keep the dogs, right? Okay. They want those dogs on property. They're going to be managing that property again. And so the dogs are very much a part of exactly why so many people have dogs. They want them to help to protect and manage the property. You know, we always try to help focus on management of that, right? So that first step is we're going to get the dogs healthy. Then we're going to have them spayed and neutered so that there are not any more unwanted, unexpected, unplanned puppies. And then how do we keep them on property so that they aren't wandering off property and going onto the beaches and getting into trouble, because then that causes challenges in other ways, right? We're very sensitive to these animals that are roaming. And just because an animal is out there and has no collar doesn't mean it's a stray. The outcome is the same. If you have dogs that are wandering around that are not being managed and they're not being told this is what you should be doing, they're going to make their own decisions. And a lot of times that's getting into trouble, and that's getting into, farmers' livestock, right? It's not always for the food. Sometimes it's for the sport of it. It's fun to chase things that are running away. And so we really want to stress that management of animals on a property is important so that they don't get into trouble and then cause trouble for the rest of the community, because as we all know, nobody wants to ever say it out loud, but the backlash is pretty ugly when people plant poison to kill dogs. Maybe you're not getting the one that hurt the livestock, and it's not a sustainable option. But managing an overpopulation is actually, to that end, Nevis Animal Speak is holding a spay and neuter event April 7th through 10th. We are targeting to spay and neuter 300 animals in 4 days. This is no small feat, and we are working with a local team in-house, our international team. We've got 7 people flying in for this event, surgeons and nurses. We are working with the Ross student vets to kind of help the flow of medical support, because you can't do surgery on 300 animals in 4 days without a lot of help. So we've got about 150 volunteers planned for this event over that 4 days.
Well, you're doing very important work, and we really do appreciate it. We don't always see you in the forefront, but you're there in the background saving the day and making the lives of dogs and their family members a whole lot happier and safer. So Janice Jensen, thank you so much for joining us. Before you go, I'm sure people are listening and they want to know how they can get in touch with Nevis Animal Speak. What's your contact info? Where do they find you?
Excellent. Yeah, no, thank you. So our website is nevisanimalspeak.org. You can also find us on Facebook at Nevis Animal Speak. And if you are on Nevis and you would like to book in for the spay neuter event, April 7th through 10th, or you want to come see us prior to that, you can reach us on landline 469-4674 or our mobile 667-6667.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Janice.
All right, do have a good day.
Thank you so much for your morning. You have a wonderful day.
Thank you. You as well. More Good Morning SKN in a bit. Stay tuned.
no cash, no card, no problem. Dad, embrace the freedom.
Yeah.
An exotic experience.
Dreamy Decor specializes in flowers for all events, from birthdays to weddings and any other special occasion. What's a better way to express to the people you love than by providing the finest selection of beautiful flowers and gifts? So when you think of flowers, think of us, Dreamy Decor.
Good morning, SKN. Wagwan. Yo, it's Bensley Lad coming to you live from Jamaica. You see it already. See me, I say Caribbean people stand up and I love this. This show is very important. You understand me? Yeah, man. Studio 327. Bensley Lad, it's a big up. See me, I say. I'm the whole innocent crew. Yeah, man. More love.
Greetings, my lovely people. I'm Chantel, residing in Taiwan. 12 hours time difference. It's nighttime here, morning time in SK. I'm busy and on the go. However, I always manage to keep up to date with what's happening in SK. All thanks to Good Morning SKN. Good morning SKN. Ciao bango.
Good morning. This is Kayana Paris and Support from Paris, Vermont. I want to encourage y'all to sign on to Good Morning SKN every morning from 8 to 10 at Studio 327. Thanks.
Yo, what up? It's your boy and Richie right here at Studio 327. I'm here to give you the promo that you guys need because this is something special for St. Kitts. I'm telling you, tune in to Good Morning SKN, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on YouTube, Facebook, and on Moen Channel 4. Also, I realize nobody else is doing this. Follow the Good Morning SKN Instagram at Good Morning SKN and the Studio 327 Inc. Instagram. Follow us on YouTube and Facebook. This is pretty long, but follow us and yeah.
every 4 years, an extra 24 hours is added to our calendar, extending February to 29 days instead of 28. But do you know why? Today's segment of Loosen Up is more on the educational side as we take a look at this video from National Geographic explaining the phenomenon of what is a leap year. Let's have a look.
Leap years, no, they don't happen all the time, but neither do presidential elections. But people don't freak out when, it's a presidential election year, it's rare. No, it's every 4 years, chill out. We on Earth, as we orbit the sun, we know how to calculate a year. It's how long it takes to come back to where you were. That's a year. But it turns out, if you cut the number of days we live into the year, it doesn't divide evenly. So there's not an even number of days in the time it takes Earth to go around the sun. It takes like 365 and a quarter days to go around the sun. So we just ignore that quarter day. Just sweep it under the rug for 3 years. The fourth year, how many quarters have you added up? 4 quarters. So there's a whole day now that you've saved up, and in the fourth year, you put that day back in the calendar, and you give it to the neediest month, February. And so this is the origin of the leap day, and this is as it was conceived in the Julian calendar, the calendar that preceded the current calendar, the Gregorian calendar. Most people don't know that this 1 every 4 year rule overcorrects the leap day. It's not actually 365 and a quarter days. It's a little bit less than a quarter. So you wait 4 years and put in a whole day, you put in too much. So you have to wait until you've put in a whole day too much. Then you take out a leap day that would have otherwise appeared. So every 100 years, you have overcorrected by a leap day, by an entire day. So every 100 years, 100 years are divisible by 4, aren't they? Every 100 years, you take out the leap day that would have otherwise been there. So 1900 was not a leap year. 1800 was not a leap year. 1700 was not a leap year for this reason. Okay, so now, by taking out that day, now you have overcorrected in the opposite direction. And now, there's a day that you have to put back in. It turns out every 400 years. So every 400 years, in the century year that would have not had a leap day on the century rule, gets a leap day put back in on the 400-year rule. This sounds complicated, but it has profound implications. In the year 2000, it's a century year that wouldn't normally get a leap day, but it's a century year divisible by 400, so you put the leap day back in. So when everyone experienced the leap day in the year 2000, they're saying to themselves, of course it's a leap year, it's divisible by 4. It's like, no, it's a leap year because it's a century year divisible by 400. Therein is the Gregorian calendar as it was established in 1582. That's the story of the calendar. You asked, okay? I was sitting here minding my own business and you had to ask about the calendar and the leap day.
I wonder how the Februarians feel when he said February is the needy month.
It is, though. It's got 28 days. Or 29 in a leap year.
Oh, wow.
Definitely the neediest month of the year.
So for those persons that are born on February 29, their birthday's tomorrow, March 1st. Because they don't have 29 days this year. Yeah.
Yeah, but some of this I was aware of.
Yeah.
365 and a quarter. I wasn't aware that it was an overcorrection. I wasn't aware about the 100 and the 400 year thing.
Mm-hmm.
So that's all very engaging and all very confusing, which is why I just go to my calendar and I check it. It's like, how many days? Yeah, we're good. Which is what most people probably do. Right?
Indeed. Oh, wow.
Unless you were born on February 29th, in which case you found the proverbial fountain of youth. As one of my teachers said to me, who came, she was a Peace Corps volunteer. I forgot her name, but I could pretty much describe her. When we were in primary school, she came and she said, "How old do you think I am?" And I was like, Everybody's there guessing. And she's like, "I'm only," what did she say? "I'm 4 years old." Looking at this woman who's in her 20s, she's talking about she's 4 years old. She's like, "Why?" And she goes, "I was born on a leap year." And we're like, believing it because we're so gullible at that age, right? We go, wow, until you realize you've got relatives who were born on February 29th, and every year they celebrate their birthday on March 1st, which is kind of weird, by the way, because
you weren't born on March 1st. So
were you really born? No, never mind.
Oh my God. Just kidding. You were born. But the thing is, with them not having a date, that means then they don't have a birthday then.
Well, they do. It just comes around. Yeah, they're special. Let's call it that.
Yeah.
All right. And they forever claim to be younger than they are, which is, well, that was a woman anyway, so I believe that goes without saying.
Yeah.
Never ask a woman her age. We don't.
Yeah, we'll tell you because we're proud of how we look. Guess my age. Don't guess my age.
I know your age. Your age doesn't lie. All right.
Oh, didn't you just say my age doesn't lie, y'all? Oh my word. All right.
What was wrong with that statement? I need somebody to tell me, all right? Considering that I know what it is. All right. Are you interested in astronomy in any way?
No, I never delve into stuff like that.
No?
No. But maybe something I can look at, because I've never had the chance to look into a telescope and really discover the sky. So no.
I was interested in astronomy. I'm interested in a whole lot of things. I mean, that just, it turns me on. I can't say. I look up at the sky and I go, we're not the only people in the world. We're not the only people out there. It's ridiculous to think that we are. And I go, eventually, somebody's going to come from the sky. I'm joking around, right? Because they're not really.
Nobody's up
there. However, I don't even know if it was the Hubble telescope, but there is actually a telescope in space that pinpoints our location and continues to send signals. So if anybody, living thing, were to get to that telescope and understand what it's doing or the information it contains, they'll be able to find us. Which, by the way, when I learned that, I thought, and this is one of the criticisms of the people who were on the other side of that discussion, they were saying, but that's a foolish thing to do, because why are you going to pinpoint your location? It's like losing your wallet and saying that, well, obviously if you lose your wallet, they know exactly where you live, right? But losing your keys, but putting your keys on your keys, the address to your house, it's kind of like, yeah, maybe not. But, Do you think that we're alone? Because I really don't think that we're alone.
I don't think there's nobody else out there.
Okay, it'd be foolish.
I think it's all made up stuff, folks.
Honestly, I think that it's full. This is the analogy that I typically use. I say the same way Christopher Columbus left Europe to sail to India through the West and quote unquote he didn't discover a thing. We were already here. People were already here. But anyway, discovered the people. The ocean, 70% of the world. Yet there was land that was not discovered.
Yeah.
What of the universe? Like seriously, do you really think that we're the only inhabitable space out there? I say that people who don't understand it just think that I'm weird, because apparently as human beings and earthlings, we're it. we're it of the universe. That's it. And I go, really?
Because that's how it's seen. Because we're the only inhabited planet per se.
That we know of, and that's what we say. Okay. So we're it, right?
As we should feel, because we are the only, well, as you said, maybe there are more persons or people or whatever out there.
Life forms, I would say life forms.
Okay. But my thing is, right, so how in cartoons, in movies and stuff, we come up with these vivid descriptions of these persons and how we think they would look on the other planets.
Without giving any thought to the fact that we'd be as ugly to them.
Oh my God.
Because we're just it, right? That's exactly how we think.
They might think that way for real.
It's the way that we do these things. I just say, you know what? The possibilities are endless. And based on probability alone and what science continues to discover, discoveries that are being made in science rather, it's highly unlikely that we are or we were the only ones to be.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Nah, I don't see it.
Okay. Yeah, I feel the vibe. Maybe they are, because if they weren't, I just want to get down to that phenomenon of aliens.
Phenomenon of aliens?
Can you take me to Area 51 person now? I want to, because you can't treat us like that. You can't make us see these things flying around in the sky and then they disappear, and then we were told that they're at Area 51.
I love how...
I want to go, but I don't want to be a subject of anything.
I love how we were talking about a leap year and we got to aliens. I mean, you see what happens in GMSKN, right? So maybe the aliens will come on a leap year, the next one being 2024, right?
For Jamie.
They'll come. So, hey, stranger things have happened. I don't know. I'm getting some side eyes. Makes me think that there's an alien in the room. I don't know what's going on here.
Any next turns?
I don't know about the next turn. Not yet. Not yet. All right.
Oh.
Wow.
I think my godson's actually born in a leap year. So he has to celebrate tomorrow.
Which is March 1st.
Yeah.
Or you could, you know what, to be fair, he should have the benefit. He should actually celebrate on both days.
So today and
tomorrow. That's fair.
But today's
You're
not his
taking the
birthday.
average. 28, the first, right in the middle is 20.
Right in the middle?
There you go.
No.
So you should have 2 celebrations every year. Who's with me on this?
Maybe he should live on another planet where everything runs smoothly. Because as you said, those aliens or those beings probably looking at us and they think they got it
Life
together.
form, alien, it's amazing.
Yeah.
And when we use that language, it's so funny to me because that's what we call people who are not from our geographical area. We call them aliens. And if they're illegal, or sorry, they don't have legal status, you know what we call them? Illegal aliens. Wow, this is so interesting.
Wow.
Yeah, we don't refer to ourselves as Earthlings. We've got borders that separate. The whole thing is just really fascinating to me how divided we are as Earth. For reasons to preserve our resources, obviously, and all that. So this is mine. This is great. Yeah.
Maybe that's why I need to go to Area 51. I just need to go.
Interesting.
I want to know.
You know what that gets me about this thing? We were talking about leap year, and I don't know how we got here, but we got here because somebody asked if we were interested in astronomy. So there you go, right?
Yeah, you brought up the astronomy.
Well, it was there. Somebody asked, right? It's just very interesting to me, I tell you. It's just, the whole thing is interesting to me. By the way, at some point, we're going to collide with the sun. Is that where we're going?
No. But I actually thought, that the leap year was every other year. So I actually learned something today, guys. I never knew it was every 4 years.
Yeah, 365
so
and a quarter.
Year, yeah.
Wow, and now we know it's an overcorrection. Right.
Yeah, look at that. So now I'm informed. So I no longer have to think, next year, because I actually thought this one was going to be a leap year. When I realized I got the calendar and I saw 28, I said, okay, this one isn't. So I put it to next year, which is correct, but I never knew I had to wait 4 years to experience a leap year. So that I learned today.
If you had my Peace Corps volunteer, you would have. All right. You would have known. You would have known, honestly. Wow.
Now I get it. Totally get that.
Yeah, sure, she's 4 years old, whatever. Yeah, okay.
Because she knew that it took 4 years for her to get her rightful birth date. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, whatever you guys say. I'm just...
See, I'm analyzing and I'm making a rational excuse for
I was going to say I'm just here for the free food, but I didn't see any, so I stopped mid-sentence.
No free food today.
Just going along with it, right? Just here for the free food. All right, so that's our discussion of the leap year explained and all of our other conspiracy theories concerning life out there and what it really means to be an alien.
And an earthling.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that. We'll be back in a moment with more GMSKN. Stay tuned.
Good morning, SKN and Studio 327. This is Tao Batiste, one of your biggest fans. You're doing a lot of things well. Keep on that trajectory. Greatness.
Good morning, SKN. Wagwan. Yo, it's Bensley Lad coming to you live from Jamaica. You see it already. See me, I say Caribbean people stand up and I love this. This show is very important. You understand me? Yeah, man. Studio 327. Bensley Lad, it's a big up. See me, I say. I'm the whole innocent crew. Yeah, man. More love.
Yeah.
an exotic experience.
Dreamy Decor specializes in flowers for all events, from birthdays to weddings and any other special occasion. What's a better way to express to the people you love than by providing the finest selection of beautiful flowers and gifts? So when you think of flowers, think of us, Dreamy Decor.
Greetings, my lovely people. I'm Chantel, residing in Taiwan. 12 hours time difference. It's nighttime here, morning time in SK. I'm busy and on the go. However, I always manage to keep up to date with what's happening in SK. All thanks to Good Morning SKN. Good morning SKN. Ciao, bango!
Welcome back to GMSKN. It is the last day of Black History Month. We got a whole month to celebrate our history. Today's quote of the day comes from the renowned television host, Oprah Winfrey. She once said, quote, "There is no such thing as failure. Failure is just life trying to move us in another direction again. There is no such thing as failure. Failure is just life trying to move us in another direction."
Yeah.
Interesting. First thoughts on this quotation. Oprah, you're being very optimistic. That's what I say to this. No takers? Somebody has to agree with me at some point, right?
No, because sometimes we may be doing something that we are not designed to do, and the failure of that thing may help us to end up doing point us along the path what we should do. Look, all of us aren't.
No, but then that means that you can see that there is failure in life. What Oprah says is that there's no such thing as failure.
Yeah, but should we look at it as failure though? Should we look at it as though we tried to do something different, that didn't work, so we're on to the next thing?
Didn't work?
It didn't work. I don't want to use the word failure.
Exactly, which is why I say she's being optimistic. Because
okay, fair enough.
It's 6 of one, half a dozen of the other.
Yeah, fair enough.
It's a matter of perspective. It's a play on words, and I guess it's the kind of thing that lets people focus on what's positive, but is it any different, really? All she's saying is, to me, you're not good at this thing. Okay, you're redirecting, you're trying something else. But somebody else might say, hey, I failed at this, I did something else. So it's semantics to me. I think she's just being optimistic. I don't know. Yeah, failure to me is a part of life. So I wouldn't say there's no such thing as failure.
Wow.
I think it's part of life. She just doesn't want to call it failure. She wants to call it a repositioning or a redirection.
Remember when she worked at the station and she got let go? Let me use a nice word.
Oh, as opposed to being fired? Okay, great. Yeah. Because we don't use the F words here? Is that what we're doing? No failure, no firing?
So, do you think she looked at that as a failure? Because she says it doesn't exist. So I wonder what word or what connotation she put towards that to say, okay, I'm going to go start my own show. You fire me from this, I'm going to show you who's going to be the boss.
Oh, that's what she said. Okay, great. Guess what? You win, you lose. You succeed, you fail. The question is what you do with that failure. And so I think the part of that quotation that we ought to be focusing on is what she did with the failure. She redirected, and that's the whole point of it. So, yeah, we're harping on the fact, well, at least I'm harping on the fact that she says there's no such thing as failure. Yeah,
I get
that's another way of saying failure is not final.
Yeah.
So
a lot of motivational speakers say that failure is not final, because once you can get up and you can choose a different path, like she rightly said, then you can do something else.
And I say she's being optimistic because failure is a part of life, and that's where I'm going to go with it. Failure.
Okay, Oprah, we need you for a Zoom interview or an interview in person. I think it's got lots that you would like, including a lot of R&R. So I would recommend that you come visit.
Was she not in Nevis before? I feel like she was. Anyway.
Why she used to come to St. Kitts? We have the Park Hyatt now.
I don't think she directly flew to Nevis, but anyway. Failures eventually lead to success, right? So failures eventually lead to success. Is that true? For every situation? No, it's not.
So what situation can you bring reference to that would have failed, and failed?
A lot. I can't think of any particular examples, but there are a lot. Doesn't mean that you eventually succeed. It depends on the individual. It depends on how that individual is wired. What is that individual going to do with that failure? Is that individual going to redirect, like Oprah said, or is that individual just going to wallow in the failure and never try again? It's really what it is. It's a matter of the individual. I don't think that all failures eventually lead to success. I think you fail at certain things because you should, right? Because it's like life putting up a wall saying, yeah, you really shouldn't enter. And if you entered and you went beyond that point, here's another wall. Yeah,
Wow, because some people do have a lot of obstacles in their way as they strive to climb the ladder of success. So, but wow.
Now,
but then you shouldn't give up.
Now, mind you, you love to say that, and I love to say it's a little engine that can't. Because there are just some things. There are just some things. Like, seriously, like, I don't know.
I'm not saying stick to the same thing, I'm just saying keep pushing. You will find your niche or your thing eventually.
Has anybody ever gone skiing in flip-flops?
Although skiing in flip-flops can work, it's not recommended.
No, but you get what I'm saying here.
Yeah.
In other words, sometimes you don't have the tools that are required for the task you want to undertake. And you are not equipped to do what you set out to do because you're lacking the appropriate tools. Yet, you're going to be there. It's like a little engine that can't. Let's be realistic. There's just certain things.
Can we not get the tools and the skills required?
If you have them, but if you don't have them, and you're still trying to do it without the tools.
So we didn't have it. We understood why we failed. So we decided in order to complete or get to where we need to get, we're going to go be it to school, get this, learn this.
Or I could just say, you know what, flip-flops belong on the beach, and instead of trying to climb the mountain or ski down it, I'm going to go to the beach and have a nice time selling my coconuts and doing all these things. redirection, right?
Yeah.
Based on the tools that you have.
Exactly.
So it depends. You either acquire new tools or you use the tools you have
As you
for
rightfully
the end
say, go to the beach in the flip-flops.
that was required.
So you see, you don't have to give up.
But you talked about the tools. You said don't give up. So I'm thinking you still want to ski, but you're going to change it.
But you gotta get skiing shoes, Jamie. We can't ski in the flip-flops.
That was my point, Credency.
Yeah, but you're gonna work towards getting skiing material.
Or you decide that you're not cut out for skiing, so you're gonna go where you're armed.
Why are you not
and
cut
do
out
that.
for skiing when you don't have the material? So you don't know that you failed at the skiing. You know that you don't have the ski boots and the sled, so you have to go to the beach because you only have flip-flops, and the flip-flops are not conducive to the climate of snow. You're gonna freeze your toes off.
Oh, okay. Well, that's why you failed in the first place. Because you were blissfully unaware, right? And that's just the whole point. Sometimes, and that my whole point is, sometimes we are our own worst enemy. We are the reasons for our failures, right? It's not somebody else. It's the way that we're armed. It's the way that we go about things. So sometimes what you want is not what you need. Guess what? Let's just say it this way. I'm going to pull the bandage off right now. Sometimes what you want isn't meant for you. It's not.
Okay.
But don't tell me that, because no, I can do whatever I want. I am going to motivate myself against all odds, and we talk ourselves. Hey, some of us are really good at talking ourselves up to accomplishing great things, and we're good. Sometimes it works, it doesn't work every time. Sometimes you got to talk yourself down. Right? Sometimes. Am I wrong? Come on, seriously.
Okay, I can see us conceding to losing, right? But I don't think we should talk ourselves out of the desires of our life. Especially if it's going to lead to somewhere.
I'll be the next Michael Jackson.
It's workable.
No, it's not.
Because a lot of things...
Come on, like seriously? What am I going to do? Go to Vegas, put an outfit on and be like, no, that's not
What do you
going to
mean?
work. Okay?
Moonwalk. Mama say, mama say, mama go say.
No, it's okay. And I can't moonwalk anyway. Closest I'll get to that is if they send me to the moon and I try to walk on it.
Fair enough.
But seriously, it's like those goals. Some goals are not realistic. Some of the things that we set out to do are not realistic. And you know what? We love it. Anybody can be really passionate about something when other people say, you know, you should. Why? Because we love to be the one that says, I have a dream. I succeeded against all odds. Look at my story. Aren't I amazing? I am a trailblazer, and other people are going to be motivated by my story. This is great. This is so touching. It doesn't work every time.
But isn't that how it works most of the time?
Really?
Yeah, because most of the people that would have accomplished, most of the people that get these awards, you hear them, they have some form of a backstory, Jamie. And they
sometimes you change the dream.
Oh Lord. All right.
You redirect. Sometimes you've got to know.
I'm just trying to not give up on what I want.
That's nice. Yeah, guess what? Sometimes it gives up on you. I'm just joking. Actually, I'm kind of serious. Life has a way of slapping us silly sometimes into the realities that we don't want to face because we're blissfully optimistic that we can achieve whatever it is that we want because we say so. And what do? We call it manifestation. We say, I'm going to speak life into this thing, and you're speaking all the life into it that you want. But guess what? The life that you're speaking into it sometimes wasn't there in the first place. So you have nothing to sustain you in pursuing that dream. When Oprah says, and I'm reading it, there is no such thing as failure. Failure is life just trying to move us in another direction. That's semantics. Failure exists. What you do with that failure is important.
Indeed. So you save up, buy your snowshoes, and don't go to the snow in no flip-flops. That's against the snow rules.
Listen to me. Some of us hold on to our dreams for green death. We strangle the life out of our dreams. Sometimes what we need to do is give the dream a breathe. Don't kill the dream. Like, seriously.
Look at this. But they say, what's for you, you cannot
Who's
miss.
they?
What's for you is for
tell
you.
me, bring they to me, please. Who are they?
It's the general saying of the world. What's for you is for you.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
We have that around these parts too. What's for you is for you.
Don't worry. I hear a lot of people say that they say or them say, as we say colloquially, and I've never heard somebody say this is them. Thank you, Lachlan Tatum, for that, because it was on your page recently, and I love it. Absolutely correct. Honestly, it's like, you know, it's very easy for us to have authorities based on what the majority say when the majority is never in front of us to say that's what they believe. Do they have a first name? Do they have a last name? Never, but they say, they always say. And school, yeah, great, right? Great, honestly.
Listen, I can't win in this one today, but as it said, rejection is just redirection. Do you believe in that one though? Oh gosh, okay.
Rejection.
The laugh alone.
Rejection is just redirection?
Yeah.
Redirection is the way you save
So you
face
don't
for
go back to
rejection.
rejection.
Did you hear me? Redirection is a way to save face for rejection. Can I flip it?
Redirection is save face for.
Is a way to save face after rejection.
Yeah.
For some people. Not in every situation.
Because you don't want to go back to the same situation that you were in.
No, you're missing me. It's a great cover to say that you were never rejected in the first place. You were just redirected. I tell you, it's all semantics. It's euphemistic. It's a positive spin on some of the worst experiences in life because we don't want to wallow in the worst, which is good if you're not wallowing.
So we don't experience them?
No, we just pretend that they don't exist. We look at the positive.
Wow.
And that's what we do, which is a good thing, I guess, but then...
We should look at the positive. That's why I said pause negative, because I love looking at the negative to see how that works to get to the positive.
Not exclusively. This is a whole thing. Listen, I don't know. Oprah, love you, but no, failure is a part of life. What you do with it is important. I take that away.
Yeah.
I take that away. And by the way, she's motivated so many people.
Yeah.
People read this and people go, no, I am not a failure. I've never failed. I don't fail. And I'm just there being pragmatic. Yes, you do, but what you do with it is important.
That's what makes
and that's we're on par. I think that's really what she means. It's just how you choose to speak about it.
Fair enough.
Right?
Fair enough.
All right. So, boy, Oprah, thank you for that quote. Yeah, failure is a part of life.
Yeah, Oprah, he's not buying it.
Failure is just life trying to move us in another direction. That's possibly so.
Yeah.
And right now, yeah, we've taken the life out of this segment. So we're going to move in the next direction, which is commercial, and we'll be back for more GMSKN in a flash. Stay tuned.
Dreamy Decor specializes in flowers for all events, from birthdays to weddings and any other special occasion. What's a better way to express to the people you love than by providing the finest selection of beautiful flowers and gifts? So when you think of flowers, think of us, Dreamy Decor.
Yo, what up? It's your boy and Richie right here at Studio 327. I'm here to give you the promo that you guys need because this is something special for St. Kitts. I'm telling you, tune in to Good Morning SKN, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on YouTube, Facebook, and on Moment Channel 4. Also, I realize nobody else is doing this. Follow the Good Morning SKN Instagram at Good Morning SKN and the Studio 327 Inc. Instagram. Follow us on YouTube and Facebook. This is pretty long, but follow us and yeah.
tomorrow is World Compliment Day, and we are celebrating a day in advance. Typically, compliments tend to be centered around our physical appearance. In this segment, Jamie and I will be sharing some compliments you can give to others that doesn't involve their looks. We weren't made the same. We weren't.
And those are compliments? You're starting already?
No, I'm just saying.
I know.
Some people are rough. Some people are rough. You look, as Samaj would say, you look beautiful. Because he's a little 2-year-old. So that's so cute. You're beautiful.
But that's focusing on looks.
You're beautiful, you know? Irregardless, we weren't meant to look alike. You're a ray of sunshine. Jamie looked like the moon. Why? Why you couldn't look like sunshine? Why you have to look like the moon?
Well, the moon reflects the sun's light, so technically I might look like the sun too. Hey, it works, right? It works.
All right.
You are a ray of sunshine. Just a ray? Wow.
Yeah, just one ray.
You're that bright. I see.
Blinding ray from the hands of the god of thunder, Thor. Sunlight. It's nice.
You're making everybody visualize Thor, and we're not supposed to be thinking about how things look, so that's a bad example.
All right, guys. I'm gonna come back to center. You're a ray of sunshine.
You are always so much fun to be around.
Aww. No. Yeah.
Yeah, you're fun. That works.
That did not come off as a compliment. GMSKN Nation, link me in the comments. Link GMS.
I'm like, you're fun. And I'm like, what can I do with fun? You're funny. And then I went to what I shouldn't have gone to mentally. You look funny. There you go.
You see? Do you see the shade?
It's like
let me know what you're thinking in the comments.
It's like those games that they let us play when they say, don't do this, where I'm doing everything that I'm not supposed to do mentally. So I'm supposed to be not focusing on looks, but there you go. Everything now.
Yeah. This is personality. So you're always fun to be around, because if you're a boring person, then nobody's going to want to be around.
Oh, by the way, there's a private joke. Well, I guess it's a public joke now. Yeah, I'm sorry. Do I say it?
Yes, you already mentioned it.
You want to say it? Wow. You've got so much personality. That's code for I like your interior.
No.
I'm overlooking your exterior.
That's why.
Oh, somebody.
That's shady. That's shady.
So if you ever tell me that, I'll know where it's coming from. All right.
Wow.
There you go. If you ever tell somebody that, make sure that they didn't listen to the show first.
What?
And watch the show first.
They're gonna get lashes.
So you're always so much fun to be around. That's one.
When I'm feeling down, you lift my spirits.
Could you say that any more convincingly?
Because I'm thinking like how. Okay, when I'm feeling down, you lift my spirits. You lift me up. Yeah.
We're talking about the spirits that are not in the glass, right? That's just because maybe when I'm feeling down, you pour. I don't know. You pour something.
Yeah, when I'm feeling down, you lift me up. When I'm up, you pour me down.
Oh, no way. No,
or you tear me down. No, but when I'm feeling down, you lift me up.
Well, this is a good one, obviously.
You're fun, yeah.
This is a very good one. I think this comes from a genuine place, so.
Yeah.
It's a way to.
Because some people are really down on days.
You are such a great listener.
Oh.
That literally means that I can go on and 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 on. And you're just, this is so great. You are such a great listener.
What if you're just there and being like, really, am I a great listener? Or am I not even here? Am I hearing anything that person said? Or am I just like looking at them, pretending to engage, but I don't understand?
Gee, I don't know. Perhaps this is not the place you should have said that.
I'll be genuinely listening. I'm just saying. You know, I'm just.
Now the world may never know because you raised it.
No, but I swear that's how some people are. You're looking at them and you're thinking, are they listening to me? Do they understand what I'm saying? Like when you go to the therapist and they're like writing. Like when I watch movies and they're writing. I wonder if they are listening to the person. I've never been to anyone either, but I'm just saying when I look at movies and they're just
when you look at movies, okay.
Yeah, what are they? I don't yeah. One day.
I'm making fun of Cortensi, by the way, because she's talking about therapy, and I'm like, I've never been. Yeah.
Yeah, I can take it. The shade is
real. It's like
real.
the Chris Tucker voice. Do you hear the words coming out of my mouth? Yeah, we do.
So you're a great listener, yeah? Are you? Dun dun dun. Hearing your laugh makes me happy. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
A baby laugh.
There's some people with laughs that are infectious. Seriously. Like, have you ever been in a situation where you shouldn't be laughing and then somebody just breaks out laughing and you don't know why they're laughing, but then that laugh just goes through the place like a wave? Like literally, then everybody's laughing, not doing what they're supposed to do because the laugh is so sweet. Right?
Yeah.
It's like, wow.
Do you have those moments when you break out in laughter because you remembered something funny?
Yeah, but generally it requires visual stimulus first.
No, but you remember something. Sometimes I'm there and I remember something that was so funny, I just break out in laughter.
I'll remember it if I see something that reminds me, generally speaking. Yeah. And I go,
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Your creativity inspires me to think outside the box. Wow, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Do I like this one, Brie?
Yeah, because you have skills that I do not have, and watching you has made me realize that there is a different way to do this thing that I was doing this way all the time. So I admire that you bring out the skills that I didn't know I possess.
Really?
Yeah, a bit.
That's what you get from that?
Yeah.
That's a loaded statement, isn't it?
That's the professional way of saying it. Yeah, it's wordy, but hey, indeedy.
Okay. All right.
I think somebody will bring a tissue for Jamie because he's crying here.
I appreciate how you always teach me something new. Okay, well, that's a good one.
Yep.
That's a good one. And you always teach me something new. Definitely so.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
I appreciate the fact.
Yeah. By the way, if it's a teacher, they're supposed to. So don't pay your teacher this compliment. All right, because they're supposed to. They get paid to do that.
No, but this is a good thing, though.
I didn't say it wasn't.
Isn't it? Okay, imagine giving your teacher a compliment like that.
They're
Might make them,
supposed to do that.
yeah, might make them more enthused to teach. We know how teachers are, Jamie. Sometimes they're discouraged because of our behaviors. So, oh my, listen, all of that is in it.
Listen,
Don't worry.
All it is right? You take a licking and you keep on ticking. That's a compliment, actually. Can we put that up there? You take a licking and you keep on ticking. I love it.
Don't worry. Yep. Don't worry at all.
This is what you get for talking creativity and art. All right.
What? Yep. Well,
Cortense, this is what you did.
Well, there is a new way of figuring out a better way to hold up our friend. So maybe that have to happen for it. So you see, I appreciate how you felt to teach me to put you up in a different way.
You gotta lift the spirits here. All right, let's go.
By the way, on that,
teachers are supposed to teach you new things. So that's not a compliment for a teacher.
What? Okay.
That's like you're doing your work.
Coming from a teacher, let's not tell a teacher that.
You're not gonna be in class learning the same thing that you learned last week. Come on, you're not learning.
Fair enough.
A little education joke.
But what if the teacher taught you a new life lesson that you didn't know before?
Well, it's supposed to be new, Cortense. That's important. Something new.
But I said life lesson, not a lesson.
It's still something new. You said you didn't know before.
Oh my gosh. But you didn't know it before, but you still want to pay her a compliment, not for teaching me.
Well, not that one.
School. Okay, guys, from a teacher, don't tell the teacher. I've lost in all angles that I tried to bring the compliment to the teacher.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
The way you speak to people with kindness is heartwarming.
Aww.
Okay, clearly based on your reaction, that works.
Yeah. Speaking to a lady nice, you always get your way. Everybody knows that.
Let's move right on.
I got some ice, I got some nectarines, I got some, but it's true. It's true. GMSKN Nation, please link me in the comments and let us know what I just said is true. I look up to you.
Right. Right. Okay. Well, yeah, definitely. This is a good one, though. Good one. Great. I look up to you. You set examples for me to follow. I really appreciate what you do. Yeah. Great. All right. It's good.
Not bad.
Although it's not focused on looks, but look is in the compliment, so I don't know if this violates any kind of rule. Does it?
Oh my gosh.
Can I get a hint here? I look up.
David's
I
being
get it.
literal, boy.
I get it. I get it.
You.
Oh, I'm just having fun. That's
Yeah.
All right. So we've got World Compliments Day coming up tomorrow. You perhaps can use these compliments if you want.
Yes, please do.
To tell people nice things about themselves.
Please
without
do.
focusing on their looks.
Exactly.
All right. If that fails, just say, you look good. But leave the today off.
Yeah.
All right.
Exactly. Because you don't know what people be going through any other day.
Wow. Well, that's time to say goodbye. I didn't even realize that. So thank you for joining us today for another edition of GMS SKN. We're inviting you to tune in daily to find a little bit of everything for everyone. Get your friends and family members to watch as well. Follow us on our social media platforms. All right. So here we go. Facebook and YouTube, we're at Studio 327 Inc. And on Instagram at Good Morning SKN. Like, subscribe, follow, share, and check out our website at studio327inc.com.
And leave us a comment and let us know what was your favorite part of today's show. And see you tomorrow on Hump Day at 8 a.m. when you will start your morning with us right here at Good Morning SKN. As usual, thank you for watching. Have a great day. As I said, choose kindness, choose gratitude, choose happiness, and remember to always choose you. Have a great day, guys.